Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by three other lovely folks. But of course, before we get to them, we got to tell you about our fine sponsors for this episode. Greater Pacific. Look, Greater Pacific is your full service creative agency. Their experience comes from the experience of thousands of custom projects completed for clients for over 2 decades with expertise in promotional products in the advertising specialties industry. They've got custom OEM, product design, project management, CPSIA compliance, product testing, and full service logistics. They've done it all and become more effective with every opportunity. Greater Pacific creates the ultimate manufacturing experience for their clients. So go visit greaterpacific.com today. Tell them the Industry Insider sent you. We've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. And Meg, we'll start with you since the Big Blue Box campaign is finally wrapping up and we're done with that. So first of all, how are you? You're clearly, you're not bedroom Meg this week, but you're also not normal office Meg either. So what's up? Where are you? How are you?
Well, I'm glad I'm not bedroom Meg today because that would be awkward. No, I'm still in Maine.
I was actually told we need to have some bedroom Meg merch.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We could just like have a whole thing at Expo. Like we'll bring a booth in and we'll just sell merch.
I could do that actually. We're trying to get stalls in there. We could just do on-demand printing and be like, pick out your sweatshirt, SNS Activewear booth, and then go print it. We'll get some bedroom Meg merch. Anyway, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. I missed last week, and then we pre-recorded a bunch of episodes. So my daughter, as you guys probably know, she graduated boot camp. It was so emotional, and man, I felt like I was on a complete roller coaster, but she's in Pensacola right now, so that's good. And I've been on vacation up here in beautiful Moosehead Lake, and man, I almost don't even want to go home. But today's the last day of my vacation, so got to get back to the real world tomorrow.
Tell us a little bit about the Blue Box campaign.
Blue Box campaign. So, wrapped up. Well, so it's actually it's ending this week. We gave the influencers 2 full weeks because of travel schedules. So it'll actually wrap up on Friday. But that was for Promotions East, the Big Blue Box campaign. And it was amazing. We had a Distributor Central, which they wanted to put a product in the box. But at the time I was like, you don't have a tangible product. Like, what could we use that would be, would better, like it connect the dots a little bit better. So we asked them to pay for the fulfillment, which works out because sometimes it's things that you can't see that get things done. So Distributor Central is always working behind the scenes. So they were behind the scenes of the shipments. We had Chameleon Lake do the fulfillment and the box. We had Sock 101 do the sneakers. SNS Activewear had a quarter zip. We had a little note card, inspirational cards from Ronnie and the Book Company. Bell Promo did this amazing water bottle. I think that was one of my favorite things. And then Peerless did the RPT foldable book bag, which was really, really cool. So
did you mention the charcuterie board?
Oh, no, I didn't. The charcuterie board, the snack board from Maple Ridge Farms. I totally forgot.
I had way too much fun making that particular video.
I love it. And that's great.
The timing was perfect. If you watch Hard Knocks, the timing was just perfect for that product. So yeah.
No, that's okay. It's okay. But yeah, it was just really neat. We had a great group of influencers this year, and they all put their own specific spin on it. So you had some unboxing, you had people like incorporating it into their daily life. And I don't know, it was just a really good campaign this year, and we're wrapping up this week. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on your social media feeds, search hashtag Promotions East, hashtag Finish Strong. Either of those should get you the results, but enjoy. How about you, Jeff? How are you?
They were a lot of fun this year to watch and see all the creativity. So yeah, definitely second that. And it was fun to participate in it as well. So yeah, doing all right. Stephen McFadden, how are you doing today? You've got a very snazzy polo on. That's actually one of my favorite polos from SNS Activewear.
Got rocking the Adidas. Yeah, I do love Adidas. It's doing well. I'm doing well. We had the cruise, which I think we talked about last time, and then right after that, We went to the beach for like 2 days to visit some friends that were in town from Germany. So that was super awesome to see them every time they're in the area. We try to touch base with them. So that was great. Played some football last night, which was a lot of fun. So
did you score a touchdown again?
I did. Another touchdown, 2 extra points, and an interception. So
all right.
It was a good productive day. We did have one injury on the field though that like delayed our game for about a half an hour, and yeah, we had to kind of get him off the field, and he tore his patella tendon, so it's not a good one for us adults to have.
Oh no,
people. So,
yeah. No, that doesn't sound like a fun afternoon.
It wasn't fun to look at. I'm sure it was not fun for him more than anybody, but such is the danger when you are an adult trying to be a kid. So.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we are joined today by a special guest, Tosha Everhart with Morgan Miller Plumbing, previously of SOC 101. And the topic we're going to discuss today is sort of similar or in parallel to last week's episode, even a little bit, and that's sort of exiting promo. So, Tosha, why don't you, first of all, it's customary for us to give our special guest a good 3 to 4 minutes to introduce yourself, maybe how you got started in promotional products industry, and maybe how you exited. That'll be a new one for this week. Yeah, take it away.
I exited.
Did you take the red stapler? Did you take it with you? The red stapler?
I was like, this stapler is mine. And then I left a Jello mold with a stapler in it. So no,
he actually has the red swing line. Nice.
Of course, he has the red swing line, Steven. That doesn't surprise me. So I actually got into promo. I was doing the marketing for SOC 101. I had worked at an agency, and I really didn't love the agency life, but they were our client, and I came up with some fun ideas for them, and I was loving working with them, just not loving the cranking out the work for all of the different clients. I felt like I just invest in a client, and I want to spend a lot of time on them. So I started to dabble the idea that I wanted to leave, and they were like, well, what, we want you, like, can you just come for work for us? So I got into the promo industry accidentally, really, which I'm sure that's everyone's story. They didn't wake up one day and they're like, I'm going to be in the promo industry. So I got in there, and then we started to hit the promo industry harder when I joined. I think it was back in like 2017, 16, around in there. So we were just they had just done like a PPAI show not too long before that. So we were babies. We had no clue what we were doing in the industry, and we just kind of went at it. And so then from there, we grew it and shook some hands, kissed some babies. And then it was 2020. It was just ironically 2020 when I started to kind of feel burnt out, which I'm sure is very common. But I noticed I was just burnt out. I actually started losing my hair, like legitimately had to get steroid shots in my head because I was losing my hair due. Wow. I don't know if it was stress. I don't know if it was travel. It could have been my personal life. I think it was just everything at once. And then of course the pandemic on top of it later. So I had actually started to have conversations with the owner of the plumbing company. He's what I call my rent-a-dad. He's been a family friend forever. And he loved the idea, and I loved the idea, and it just kind of happened. And I almost had to cold turkey it and just had to go. I love SOC, and I'm still very close with Kelly Yarborough. I love him dearly, but I told him, hey, I'll stay as long as you need me, help segue. My sister actually still works for SOC 101, so it's still very much in the family, but I just kind of cold turkey and left, and it is not easy. So yeah, no, and then that's me. I live
so what are you doing at what are you doing for Morgan Miller Plumbing now?
So I'm ultimately help running it. So there's a board of 4 of us that run the company now, and I'm one of the 4 that sit on it. And we made that change coming on about 2 years ago, and it's been completely different. I went to school. I actually got my apprenticeship. I went to school for plumbing. I went into the field, took the test. So I'm actually a plumber. I felt I couldn't help run a plumbing company if I knew nothing about it. So went a little bit behind the scenes, and now, yeah, we're just grinding along doing plumbing here, and we do more residential not really commercial or new builds.
That's amazing. You guys must be pretty big if there's a board that runs it. You're in Kansas City area?
Yes, we're in Kansas City. We've been around for about 26 years. And we're not as big as you think, but I think what's fun is perception is key. So we are small but mighty. There's about 21 of us, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So what was the hardest part about leaving? What was the hardest part about leaving Promo? Was it the people? Was it the products? Was it the relationships? Or what did you think was the hardest part?
Definitely the people and like the relationships. I absolutely loved, and I still chat with quite a few people. We're all still connected on social media, but the relationships was the hardest part because I got to know so many people. Like I got to know Steven and his wife so well, and they're, it just, saying that like separation was tough. Another hard part was the slowdown. I mean, promo is constant, and I did more since we weren't as big. Sock 101 wasn't as big as they are now. I handled a lot of the accounts from West Coast to East Coast, so I was answering emails from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m, and then our overseas team would be. So it was just that slowdown, like a complete hard stop. I'm used to answering emails the minute they come in and feeling stressed about that. Now it's like, oh my God, I barely sent that email and you responded. People are like amazed at how fast I emailed back, but it was my nature. I didn't know that was really, really difficult to tell myself to like, hey, you have a work-life balance now. Work stops for a second, and it's nice. I do miss it though. I will say it's a hard industry to get out of, and I know why people say, they kept telling me, you'll be back. You'll be back.
Yeah. All right, so then let's ask that question. Would you ever go back?
I think I would. I think I would if the time was right. I just had a baby 3 months ago. I'm in the last week of my maternity leave.
Aww, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm fine. It's cool. I'm not upset about it or anything.
It's okay.
But what is neat is I would consider it because it's really strange about leaving. I don't want to now leave her, but I know I'm more of a career person. I'm older. I'm almost 35 and having my first baby, to where it's like I've always been career oriented, and I don't know how to stop that. So I think a work from home job would be kind of nice, but also the break from her sounds neat. And I think promo would be something that would allow for me to do that. And I could make all the relationships again. And that would be, I still have them. So why let that go?
Yeah. So now, do you plan on trying to, line up some conventions out in Vegas around the same time as Expo so that you can maybe sneak in,
I've already tried to I always ask Sock, I'm like, so what shows are happening? Like last August, I actually went to Napa when Sock 101 was out there for one of the promo marketing gigs. Yeah. And so it was so fun. I got to see some of my friends again. And, I strategically plan vacations where I know promo people will be.
That's so cool. Funny.
So how would you say, like, if somebody, was trying to get out of promo, like, I mean, what was sort of the mindset or the mentality sort of leading up to that decision? I mean, because obviously it's a big decision, because as we all know, this industry is like none other. So what was that like?
I think the mindset for me was just that just because I'm leaving the industry doesn't mean I have to leave the industry, because what's really kind of nice is that I'm taking that knowledge I had learned from the promo industry into the everyday world. So when people think these unrealistic timelines, it's you just have to look at it as, you won't be the insider necessarily, but you're still very much in the industry, and you have to know that you're ready for a drastic change. A lot of people who make that change and leave the industry, who I've talked to and friends I've talked to, that they just weren't ready for that slowdown. They didn't realize how fast of a slowdown that was. I mean, it's immediate. There is no, it depends. I guess the industry I went to, it was immediate slowdown. I guess if you go into another high pace industry, most of the time you're getting out of that high pace industry. So going into another one seems funny, but do you? I think it's just, you've got to mentally prepare yourself to have free time. a little bit more free time and dead time, because even in my dead time, I felt like I was thinking about ideas and, oh, who can we do this? And what's my next travel? Because I was home very minimal during that time. There would be a couple days I'm home and I was right back on the road.
That's interesting you say that. And actually it gives me pause, because I think when I have my friends that aren't in this industry, and they're just like, do you stop? And I'm like, no, I do. But to them, it doesn't seem like that. And I guess it makes sense because the industries are so different and they may not understand why I'm working so much. But to me, I'm like, I took a break up here, kind of.
Right.
Kind of.
And you become so like, that's just your nature. I don't hate it. I am very much even now when I have nothing to do, I have something to do. So it was just who I am, but it was a change. Now it's almost like I feel like I'm like, la-di-da. How's everyone doing? I wave to my neighbors. And,
wow, you wave? There's time.
No, let's be real.
I can't see my neighbors here, which is kind of nice.
I kind of want to ask the opposite question that Jeff did. So if somebody is looking to get into promo potentially, or like, do you give them any pause or give them some stuff to think about now that you've kind of seen both sides of things, or do you still recommend it as a good career path?
Absolutely. I 100% recommend it. I just leave it honest. I tell them how much I loved it, but I tell them how much of a grind it is. But it's weird. It was almost like that grind is a drug, and I loved that drug. So if that is something that you crave and you want that, I'm traveling constantly, get it, because you have the potential on the distributor side to make a lot of money, and you get some really cool clients, you get some really cool events. And on the supplier side, same concept. You get to make really good friends, you learn and make really good distributor friends who have some badass clients, and you get some cool swag along the way. That's another really, I miss all the cool stuff that I would leave from shows. I mean, I would pack another bag just for all the cool stuff I'd leave with, but I highly recommend it to anybody. I think it teaches you a lot, and I have a whole new respect, and I did working in the industry, but even going to a boutique, going to a store, you have a whole new respect for the grind that went into all of it.
Yeah. We were in Bar Harbor.
I just did something recently that I was like, oh my God, I wonder who had this account. This had to be a crazy, I forget what it was, but I was just enamored by the back end of it. I kept thinking, oh God, they probably worked tirelessly. Who did the boxes? All this funny stuff.
Yeah. So Jeff said this a second ago, and I think we've all said this a bunch of times, where promo is just so unique. There's nothing like promo. And so I'm guilty of saying that. Do we have blinders on in our own industry, or is our industry just that unique now that you've kind of seen?
Ooh, good question.
I think it is. I really do. There's probably a 4-foot blinder, but it's not like a 10-foot blinder. That the industry is very, very unique in the aspect of every day is different. And that's a literal, real saying. Every day is different. You don't know what you're going to get into. You don't know what email could change your life that day, what email could ruin your life that day. There is
accurate.
No other industry like promo.
That is the most accurate thing I've heard in a long time.
I think
oh my God, there'd be days.
That was a good question.
I get an email within 5 minutes and be like, oh, this is amazing. And then you're like, and there it is. There you're back down to reality.
Yeah, there we are. There it is.
I think that was a really interesting question though, Stephen, because you're right. I mean, if all you've ever known is this industry, or even if you've been in it for a long time, you kind of forget what it's like outside of the industry. And we do always talk about the uniqueness and how great it is and all this other stuff. But there's plenty of other industries out there that are, are also very unique or have very similar grinds. I mean, real estate agents, I feel like that would probably be even harder as far as the grind goes.
Yeah.
Any kind of volatile sales position, where you're working with multiple customers and stuff, it's going to have some similarities, I would imagine, to promo, as opposed to service or things where you have tasks that once you're done, you can start the next one that's similar or the same, where, like you mentioned, everything's different. So, every project, different events, different timings are different. Wild.
Tasha, does everyone at the plumbing company come to you to get their like t-shirts and sweatshirts and pens done then now?
Yeah. And I just take it over. I'm like, I've come up with doing quite a bit of fun stuff, and I love it because I'm very big on, oh, we don't want this. Oh, you want this and not this. And I've connected people to other local distributors who need, hey, do you know who can give me this? So I've kind of become that liaison. And I kind of mentioned earlier, I am able to set realistic expectations for this end user side. The owner sometimes, of course. The owner sometimes will get a little frustrated, or people will be like, oh, well, we need to get this here now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, we need at least like 2 weeks for that, and I help with a couple nonprofits here in town. So when they would want their stuff for the event, it's like, guys, here's the date. And if I get it after, we're not going to have it by the enhanced date. So that's plain and simple. There's no arguing with anyone else.
I think that's another thing that's worth bringing up too, that you, like you just mentioned. I mean, being able to use the skills or knowledge that you learn from this industry, it's actually a very transferable skill, I think, especially if you stay in the marketing side of things, because there's so much that having been in the industry that other people from the buying perspective don't necessarily have. And I left for a very brief stint between, because I started in the industry as a distributor, and then I actually went to being a purchaser for a manufacturing company. And then quickly got back in. Now I'm on the supplier side and have been for like 11 years now. But it's definitely transferable skills, and knowing the industry, you kind of you know all the coded pricing and stuff like that. So you kind of know when somebody's screwing you over, or if they're giving you a fair price. And
see, that part kind of stinks for people, but other than that, it's been nice, because I'll be like, what is this on? Is this on a C? Huh. Okay.
I like it. I love it.
What other transferable skills do you think you can take from the promotional products industry into another field?
The connections. I mean, the relationship building in the promo industry, to me, is another level that I don't experience in my day-to-day life. And I don't mean this any bit stale, but in the shaking hands, kissing babies, networking in business is so plastic. And versus in promo, I just felt there was more realness. Like, I felt like we could go have a martini together and we're all just having the time of our lives, but it's genuine. It's not that we're just, hey, you know what? I want a relationship with you. And if that relationship leads to sales, and that's perfect. I love that. But it was like a slow, and again, I'm on the supplier side. So maybe that's what I felt like. It was that genuine, I wanted to work with you. So let's figure out how we can tailor a presentation to work together, because we just like that. Versus over here, it's a little bit more like, what can you do for me? And that's the only reason I'm here today. And so I do miss that. That relationship building is something I've taken, and you can use it, but it's a little bit, I'm almost too friendly sometimes. So I don't know, I'm like, oh, okay.
That's super interesting. Like, just to think about that, because I pride myself on my relationships with my customers, because they are truly my friends, and they become family. Like, so I would think I would probably crash and die if those people were like just talking to me to get my business. I'd be like, but I want to be your friend too. It would really crush my soul. I'm meant for promo. Happy friend.
I think it's helped, because I'm very much into customer building, and I really take that, hey, what can I do to make you that customer for life? So that to me was something I really, really perfected and enjoyed in the promo industry, and then took into this industry a little bit more than I would have in my previous.
That's another one of those things that's really unique and fun about our industry, is how cooperative and connected that the industry is, versus a lot of other industries and fields out there where it's a little bit more cutthroat. And like you said, I think plastic is the perfect word to put to that. So I mean, when you're talking about the differences in industries, the promo, like, that was one of the coolest things about coming into promo, was just how it actually felt weird. It's very comforting, but like you were waiting for the stab in the back at some point. And
I know that's really weird to say, and that's not putting down any other industry, but it did. I felt like, were they too nice? What is it that they want? When's the shoe gonna drop? But It never did. And that's why relationships was one of the hardest parts about leaving, because I felt I had genuine friends that it was hard to say quote bye to.
Oh yeah.
Hey, one kind of last question for me. How are the challenges outside of the industry the same cross industries? So obviously we talk a lot about some of the challenges in promo with hiring and technology and production times and suppliers and financing and all those things. Is that a unique promo thing, or are you seeing that cross industries?
I see it across industries. Now, when it comes to production times, no, that would be the only time I'm not seeing it. But even in our industry, sometimes that we can't get products, faucets, whatever it may be, they're so back ordered. So that's when it's kind of like, man, I know that production's down, hiring, finding good talent, the benefits and the things that we've had to kind of maneuver to make. It's been tough because we're trying to look, hey, we're shiny and new over here. Come try it out. But I would say some of those pain points are in different industries, just in a little bit of a different light, but you see it across.
Makes sense.
Very cool. Meg, you got anything else? Any other questions?
No, I'm going to finish painting when I'm done. I look like I can see, like I did the edges right here. But yeah, when we're done.
Oh yeah, you can actually see the corners back there.
Yeah, I see it now. I didn't
shadow. You did a good job. It looks good.
Thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
I did this.
Anything else?
Nope, it's all from me.
Tasha, any questions for us?
No. Thank you guys so much. This was fun. This was a little
thanks for joining.
I'm sorry you're wrapping up your maternity leave. I know it's going to be difficult to leave the little one, but congratulations. Is this your first child?
Yes, my first.
Yeah. That's very
and only
cool.
Probably.
It's very very special, and it goes fast.
It is.
So enjoy every moment that you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a kid graduate from boot camp, and I have a 7-year-old like that.
It seems like it was just yesterday that you were in freaking Florida trying to catch her in
before her plane. I know.
How fast is boot camp? Like, am I the only one?
It's 10 weeks. It was 10 weeks.
That was 10 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, it was actually longer because I've been on vacation. So yeah, it's been like almost 3 months.
Where's this year going? It's almost.
I thought it was just me. Because I've been traveling all over. And I get home from here, I go to New Orleans. I get back, I have to have arm surgery, then I have meetings, and I have like trade shows right after my surgery. So if you see me at Promotions East, I'm going to need help.
The year goes downhill once you reach October, because it goes like.
Yeah, it's already downhill. Holidays. School's back. Holidays. It's over. Happy 2024, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you in Vegas.
How dare you say that, Stephen? October is the best month of the year. Let's say it goes downhill after November.
It just it speeds up so fast.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right.
Listen, I had a great time talking with you, Tasha. Thank you so much for joining us. And listen, this broadcast was brought to you by our good friends over at Greater Pacific, and they're a direct manufacturer of custom OEM product and selling in the promotional products industry with 27 years of experience, specializing in over 10 product categories. They can source and deliver most any product for you. Greater Pacific is a full service sourcing product and managing every aspect of the production with staff on the ground in Asia and utilizing their time-tested 20-step project management protocol. No need to worry about quality control, product safety, CPSIA compliance. Of the hundreds of details related to custom manufacturing, Greater Pacific oversees every aspect for you, and their global logistics team and in-house customs brokering ensures timely, seamless delivery. This is how they provide the ultimate manufacturing experience, and they back this claim with a 30-day product guarantee on all orders. So head over to Greater Pacific to learn more. Tell them the Industry Insider sent you, and until next time, guys, we will be seeing you. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of PromoCorner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit PromoCorner.com.